We don't have the image showing for some reason. So all of those should be fine. Test and test 2 should be okay. But let's go back to the blog. Just check a different one. Okay, so we have those 3, but now I'm not getting images here doing anything. But the links are working, so I know that stuff is there, and it looks like there's just an image response failed for that. So if we come over here to our postcard, let's log our post and see what we get. I'm getting nothing for the file name. So why is that? I think it must be a depth thing. So let's go. We've got our postcard there. And so if I want to log my related post, I can do that. Yep, it is a depth issue. So if I come down and I'm going to query the category, let's query at 2 depth. See if that's enough. Okay, no, maybe 3. 3 seems excessive though. So let's just try restarting. First, let's generate types. That shouldn't matter. 3 does seem just excessive for depth, and I don't think that is the issue now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll try it out. We'll let it see. So if I look at our image, it still just gives me the ID. So it's definitely not a depth issue, or maybe it is. So we've got our query category. Well, just in case, let's set it to 10, which is just massively excessive. Okay, so it's not a depth issue. Okay, I just had a thought, and I'm clearly, definitely just overthinking this. So I don't need to query the category. So I'm just getting a bunch of layers of stuff that I don't actually need. So if I'm just trying to get related posts, I just need to use the categories from the blogs. So I've got my category array up there. So instead of doing our category query, so we're going to use our category query still, but I just need to do const related posts, which is going to equal our query blog. And then I have to await this first. So if we await this and then query blog and then just do slug category query and then come down here because I have a bunch of stuff. So first we're gonna so it's limiting 1 again, so I need to make sure that I don't do that. So let's do limit as that. We can do limit and then do limit as a number, and we can set limit to be default 1. So now if I refresh, nothing should change really, except that this is still broken. But now I need to set this limit to be 3. Oh, it's because it's required. That's fine. I'll say it explicitly. That's cool. So let's do limit 1. So now we've got our category array, and we should have our related posts, which we're going to log so we can just see it. So we need to find our categories, and so I think it needs to be content categories slug, not categories. I think it's just category. There we go. All right, so we're getting there. Everybody, we're making it. So what I just did is this is how you query nested fields within so we're querying nested information from our schema. So now we have content.category.slug, which then takes in all of the array and is going to return all of the, 3 documents, because that's what I set, that match the categories. So I'm just going to check a contains again. Okay, so that doesn't work like I think it does. So now we've got our related posts. And now here we need related posts .docs. Then if I refresh, there we go. We've got our related docs right there. So what we need to do though is that we need to create a container, which we have here in the card row, because why? I mean, they're going to be full screen cards, but I don't know why they don't have their background color. So let's go up here. This is the problem. It's there. Oh, I need to limit 1. Okay, that clears that error. Okay, so we've got our blog. I'm looking for our postcard, which is right here. And then we've got our classes there, but those need to move. So let's go to that and find, we're going to need all of this. And then we're going to take all of our recent posts, minus a couple things, because we don't need, we'll leave card image in there. We don't need card row or recent posts, I don't think. Set this to be index.module. All right, so now we should have a background color for our card. I can get rid of that console log, console dot. Okay, get rid of you. And then I think I've got you there. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we've got these cards set up, but for some reason not getting the background color. So let's take a look at that. Related posts is fine. That's what I want. So here, card. Background color's there and should be working. Love that. Okay. So we'll come back to that in just a second. I think the problem here is I shouldn't need any of this here. And we're going to make sure of that first by going back to the blog. Yep, all that still looks good. All right, have I done anything for my to-do list? Query-related blogs. All right, we're getting there. We have done some select and populate, so that's good. I guess, kind of. All right, so this is our individual blog page. Don't need index here, that's unused. And then oh. All right, so we don't need that anymore, which means I also can do this, and instead of return, I just learned something new, but that's why I do this, so all good. All right, so next we need this to be the container. So let's find our postcard, and then we've got our card row. So we'll do a new file that we'll call card row.tsx, add. So here we could actually, let's do card row, drop you in here, refactor, rename, card row, no wait, sorry, index, and then we're going to need a new style sheet, index.module, add, and then we're going to add a new directory, call it card, drop you in here, and then drop you in here. Hopefully I can just, yep, perfect. Okay, so then we can create in our postcard file, which we'll do index.ts, and we can do export postcard from card, export card row, which we don't have yet, from card row. All right, so that we're going to make now. We're going to do a function, export function card row. And this is just going to have children, which will be children react.react node. We're going to return this, and you are going to have children there. And then here we'll do our index.module.cscss, and in our card row, come here and take out our card row. So this is not exactly how I wanted to spend this time, but here we are, making it, doing our best. So now we can do card row. Okay, so why didn't any of that stuff take effect? All right, but first let's go back to our blog page and replace this with card row. Make sure that that works still as intended. It does indeed. So that's a good sign. Then we can go into our featured blog, and now it works. Okay, I just needed, I guess, to reset the cache. So we're good here. So now we've got our related posts inside our individual post. Okay, so we'll fix the author. Let's see if we can do it real quickly because it's going to fix a few things. Yes, okay, so we can do author index array. So then in our author, we can do author name. Here I think we need to do, bam. No, inside here. Oh, we can do, so array dot length is less than index plus 1. And I believe I'm doing this the right way. If not, we can just flip it. Okay, so let's switch this back to greater than. And then flip these. There we go. You can go there, then you. We can delete you. And so I'm just trying to get this so that the comma falls into the right place, which it does there. And then we can add a space. And there we go. So now we've got a nice formatted authors array there as well. All right, so now we go back to blog. We're good here. This looks wrong. I think it's because I brought out my date. So let's go to our featured, do featured date, and take our card date. Put into featured date. And then in our featured up here is change our card date to featured date, which should fix the size and shading of that date. So that looks good. So now we have our related posts based on the category, and it's only taking 3, but it looks like we can have space for 4. So let's change that right quick, assuming that there is 4 in general, but we can come back to our individual post. And so I do want to clean up this component. I just really want all of my components to be neater in general. I don't like all of the props in mine like this, so we'll take that as a to-do item here in a minute. So instead of limit of 3, let's limit 4. There's 4, and they're all unique, which is great. So we can come back to here. We still want to work on blog navigation, so we'll do that with previous and next. We want to render blog categories on cards, likely over the image. And then we want to clean up components. And so I have a feeling that I'll do that off of a live stream just so I can figure it out on my own, because I should know TypeScript at this point. I feel like when I do this, I let you guys down because I don't know what I'm doing with it. But that's okay. We'll figure it out together, maybe? We'll see. I'm not exactly sure.